All right, welcome back everyone dito sa latest episode of RCM. Booyaka siya. Kasama po natin ang counselor, candidate, Bitcoin King, Prince, Chris Tan. Oh, yan. At saka artista rin yan. At saka motivational coach. Thank you very much, Chris, for joining us again. Pasensya na last time nasabotage tayo ng bad weather.
Salamat sa pag-invite. As always, Richard, excited ako sa ating usapan ngayong gabi dahil alam naman natin na
Oo.
maraming mainit na pag-uusapan sa politika.
I know, I know. And of course, it's always a pleasure to join you. But of course, ito ang partner in crime for more than 3 years, Senator Mark. Hinintay pa natin yung billboard sa EDSA Gamboa. Kamusta si Senator? Kamusta, Senator? Kamusta? Dumadami ng
Hello,
Chinese
kamusta
things on
po?
billboard,
Oh, Mark Gamboa po, number 27 sa balota. At your
Oh,
service.
20, malapit kay Bongo. Chris, ano yung number
28
mo
siya.
sa counselor?
Number 10.
Number 10. Number
10, oh,
10.
yun.
Okay, good, good. Mga magandang feng shui
Mga
natin
magandang ano
here.
yan.
Oh, at saka
Alam
advanced.
mo kung bakit? Craig's 10. Ah,
Yes.
Oh,
Actually,
yes! Chris
yung
10. That's
yung
it.
t-shirt ko nakalagay Kristan 10. Nakalagay talaga yung 10 sa
yun.
ilalim. Parang jersey, maganda siya.
Siyang vote wisely Parang vote wisely. yung,
What's the, oh.
yung pala advantage ng Chinese ng family names, no? You can play around easier.
Ang daming ano.
Mas mahirap yung Espanyol at saka yung mga iba, di ba? Like it's hard to make, but that's true. Number 10, Chris Tan. Yeah. Parang medyo mala Elrich pa yung pangalan, Mark. Si si Mr. TNT. Parang yung kapatid niya, si Ben Tulfo. Tan, Chris Tan. Good morning, good
Yep.
morning. Okay, ito na. Let's start with Chris Tan. Good morning, good morning. Christian, nakat yung mga discussion natin. Actually, dami nagagalit sa atin. Doon sa Daryl Yap versus Vico Sota natin. Alam ko parang ako lang team Daryl Yap ngayon. Hindi, joke lang. Sige, balikan natin yan Chris, so what you were saying is, balikan natin, let's just get the ball rolling. So, you were saying last time nakat tayo na sa tingin mo, hindi naggumawa ng legwork si Daryl Yap before making the movie sa unfair kay Vic Soto. That was your stance, right?
I wouldn't say it's unfair for Vic Soto kasi sa akin naman talaga, I've always believed everyone has a right to be able to do and say whatever they want. Ang problema lang talaga na nangyari kay Daryl Yap ay siguro hindi nga siya gumawa ng enough research and due diligence na para yung informasyon niya is accurate, number one, and number two, so it won't be libelous. Kasi yun ang pinaka nakakatakot if you commit libel and you defame somebody, that's where the problem starts. So just as long as I think if I were his legal counsel, I would say, sana pinag-aralan mo muna talaga kung ano yung pag-uusapan mo. And you can still imply somebody without mentioning their name and not be libelous. For example, instead of calling him Vic Soto, you could say something like Vicky Soterna or something. Like
Or
you can
Team
play around.
Itbulaga, yung isa taga Team Itbulaga, yung
Yeah,
mga
without saying it bulaga. You know what I mean? Just play around with the characters to
Plastic
imply a
Man?
character. Ganon.
Plastic Man ba? Ano ba yung isang movie niya?
Oh,
Last
yeah, yung isa,
yung mga ganyan.
Enteng, Kabisote.
Oh,
basta
Enteng
yeah.
Episode. Sorry,
Enteng.
sorry.
Yung
Oh.
shock
So,
factor kasi siguro hinahabol ni Daryl eh.
ah,
Talagang oo kaya ayan, may kaso tuloy.
yeah.
Diretsong case tuloy.
Pero yun yung nakakatakot lang kasi. I think, sa akin, like I was telling Richard nga, Mark, na ang napansin ko nga, matapang si Vic na biglang nagsampa ng kaso eh. He didn't hesitate. So for me kasi, kung ako si Vic, and I was guilty, I would not file a case. Kasi the last thing I want is for what's his name? Daryl to prove that he wasn't lying and that I am the rapist. And then yari ako lalo, 'di ba? So that's why I think that holds a lot of credence na the fact that Vic Soto stood up and said, "I'm gonna fight this. You're defaming me. This is cyber libel and makukulong ka dito." Parang ganoon. So, yun ang
So,
nangyari
you
tingin
don't
ko.
say, I'll ask Mark kasi si Mark andun nga siya nung nagsampa ng kaso si Vico Soto. Si Mark Gamboa ay resident showbiz
Vic
expert
Soto,
natin.
not Vico.
Ay, ito. Ayan na naman tayo. Baka ako yung ma-cyber. Wait lang, wait lang. Vic Soto. Pasensya na, pasensya na. No, no, no. I'm going
Napanood
back.
mo sa TV Patrol? Tama yung ano ko yung tayo ko eh. Sa
Oo,
likod ako ni
perfect yung
Attorney
time
Buko eh.
talagang, Mark, parang ikaw yung Forrest Gump of the Philippines. Parang andun ka lahat eh. Sa lahat ng historic moments, no? Parang, wait lang, is that Mark Gamboa? God forbid, baka may mga magulong kudeta or assassination. Sana wala ka sa picture, Mark. No, but Mark, I wanna ask you also about this kasi, I mean, the argument of Kristan is, because it was seen as unfair and libelous, immediately may reaction. But some would also say, baka masyadong defensive, and someone wants to shut down the conversation because the argument, of course, of the team of Daryl Yap. Of course, Mark, you know I'm the last person to be Team Daryl Yap, but just for the sake of argument, right? Ang argument ng Team Daryl Yap is, this is a movie, it's a work of art, it's based on the research, they reach out to everyone, but yung family ni Pepsi Paloma, I think even sila Vic Sota, etc. Now, if you don't agree with the movie, its premise, go ahead, write a review, like babuin mo yung review, mga ganun. But to shut it down or prevent it, kasi preventative action to di ba? This was an attempt to make sure hindi ito ma-publish.
Papalabas or ma-take
Yeah,
down
exactly,
siya.
palabas.
Oh.
And then of course, the other argument was that trailer lang naman to. So, obviously, pag trailer, talagang provocative. Kasi konti lang time mo, syempre, you go to the most provocative version of it. So, ikaw, Mark, anong take mo dyan? Kasi obviously, I know you're also a little bit more sympathetic to one side of this argument.
Yan, syempre nandun ako sa tinatawagan nila TVJ defenders nung buong laban nila doon sa tape, di ba? Yung sa trailer pa lang kasi, the damage has been done Kung pumunta ka sa TikTok, mag-view ka ng isang Daryl Yap na Pepsi Paloma na video, biglang babatuhan ka na ni TikTok ng lahat ng conspiracy theories, lahat ng yung mga spolarium, yung mga kumbaga in fairness to Daryl Yap, kayang-kaya niyang magpasabog ng isang issue na talagang pinag-uusapan ng buong bansa. As in, buong bansa. Sa TikTok and sa Facebook all over, talagang pinag-uusapan yung issue na yan. Sa vlogs ko usually, ang importante na sinasabi ko din is, kino-question din namin yung motivation ni Daryl for doing this movie who is behind Daryl Yap for making itong Pepsi movie? Kasi ako personally, I'm friends with Daryl Yap. I consider him my friend. Pero I don't buy yung ginawa lang niya to on his own Na ginawa lang niya, art project ito, Olongga po ako, Olongga po si Pepsi. Gusto lang niyang gumawa ng ingay para sa sarili niya, para pag-usapan siya. Ako personally, I'm not sure kasi wala naman akong ebidensya. There might be someone big na nasa likod niya for him na ganyan kalakas yung loob para to take on the Sotos. Kasi hindi biro yung ginagawa ni Daryl Yap.
Now I see what you're saying, brother. Okay, that's interesting. That's an interesting angle. So what you're saying is that meron na tayong Made in Marites, Made in Malacanang situation, because the Made in Malacanang one, the accusation was this was really an IME project, right?
Yung sa Made in Malacanang, walang question naman. Medyo obvious
walang
naman
question, exactly. But this one,
This one kasi hindi mo alam So merong mga suspects na people are nilalabas nila. Kaya ito, kwento ko na lang din kasi hindi ko naman din talaga sure. Ang pinaka unang sinasabi kaagad nung mga sumusubaybay doon sa issue nila last year, nung 2023, pinasususpetsahan yung tape. Okay? Yung mga halos-hos. Ako naman, I don't buy, hindi masyado sa akin kasi busy yung halos-hos ngayon sa Zamboanga del Norte. They are facing a tough challenge with the UIs para gumastos sila ng pera para lang gumanti sa TVJ at this point, di ba? Tsaka yung timing kasi.
Medyo far-fetched. Parang,
oo So, personally, hindi ko alam. Yung timing niya, dapat nga March ilalabas yung movie which is 2 months away from the elections. So, pag-iisipan mo din, is this politically motivated? Yung isa naman, may teorya din naman yung kalaban daw ni Vico Soto sa Pasig. Pero, pag-isipin mo naman, parang wala namang, hindi pa pinapanganak si Vico nung panahon na yon. Wala naman siyang direct na hit kay Vico kung ano man yung panira doon sa dad niya kasi nga wala pa siya at that time. Or are they trying to neutralize Vic Soto para hindi makaikot daw sa Pasig? Parang ganon. Pero when you think about sa other side naman, malaking contractor yung kalaban ni Vico, it's not smart na makaaway mo si Tito Sen na siguradong babalik ng Senado. So may ganong mga question. Tapos ang lumalabas ngayon sa mga articles is yung yung boss ni Daryl Yap, which is Amy Marcos na naman. Kasi kahit na may kinalaman siya or wala, it's still a bad look for her na knowing kung gaano siya ka-connected with Daryl Yap, na she's running for senator, Tito Sen is running for senator, tapos by election time, yung director na kanang kamay mo is maglalabas ng movie laban doon sa karibal mo. So merong mga ganong mga issues
So
who
essentially,
is
yung
behind.
timing, circumstances ay medyo suspect in light of the fact that ang daming kalaban, hindi lang Itbulaga, pati si Vic Soto, of course, and then they're like me. I mean, Vico and Vic Soto are not too far away, so maybe some people are also trying to kind of drag maybe Vic Soto into this. So you're talking about potential political conspiracies here. I won't say
Yun eh. May
theory,
maraming
but
naglalabas na ganun. Ako
interest.
meron pa akong isa. Meron pa akong isa. Ito medyo, hindi ko alam kung gaano kaano to. Kasi napasa a few weeks ago, yung parang baselines bill na si Tito
Last month
Soto
pa
yung
yan,
nag-author.
Right.
So, ako, inisip ko, baka isang posibilidad, what if, di ba? May isang country na ayaw yung ginawang batas na yon na si Tito Sen yung nag-author, ganyan na. O sige, ito sa'yo.
Medyo international.
Medyo conspiracy na, pero
conspiracy
yun nga, ang daming lumalabas.
Baka meron din Wall Street angle dyan. Hindi natin alam. Baka may just kidding. Chris 10, balikan natin. So actually, Chris, your take is, sana yung trailer was more like, sino ang talagang pumatay kanito? But more like, you can make it provocative question marks, and ang point mo is, masyadong pointed. And
Yeah.
now Mark saying, in the political context, being too pointed, and giving Daryl Yap's unfortunate pedigree, let's just put it that way, parang it just doesn't, it doesn't cut it for you. Parang ganun
Yeah,
yung basa ko ngayon, no? Yeah.
well, not just that, like Mark said, alam mo, if you look at all the usual suspects when it comes to sino kaya ang behind Daryl Yap for doing this, I would say the Halosos eh. Diba? They have an axe to grind. They lost Eat Bulaga to TVJ, diba? So, they have an axe to grind, and for them, maraming perang Haloskos. These politicians have a hell of a lot of money. It's like diba? It's like an endless bank that they have. So, yun na nakikita ko talaga, because tama si Mark na Daryl won't do this on his own. Number one. Number two, somebody bankrolls a movie. Movies are bankrolled. Somebody pays for it. Ang tanong, sino nagbayad para gawin itong pelikula na to? Because it's expensive to make a movie. And especially an a period film, which is done in Pepsi Palomas, 1970s or 80s? Oh, so 80s ata o 90s? I don't remember. Is it?
80s.
80s, yeah. So if it was 80s, yeah. Period film yan. So magastos yan. So definitely may backer yan. And come on, I mean, let's face it. There's so much political money going around right now, paying a lot of different people, different
So there are many
influencers.
possible, again, allegations lang to. Baka
Allegations lang, allegations lang.
Wala naman tayong sinasabi kung sino eh. Ang sinasabi ko lang naman is the fact is, maraming political money naman
Pwede
talaga
mag-benefit. Yeah,
you guys know that there are a lot of politicians that are paying a lot of money to create a narrative, and hindi na pinapadala. And I don't know if is it legal or is it illegal. Kasi di ba ginagawa naman niya sa newspapers dati, di ba? Newspapers, radio, TV, where they pay to create a story. Parang PR piece, pero it's a hit job, di ba? So ngayon, wala na yung mga yun. Now it's the vloggers, and now it's the influencers, people like Daryl Yap. So kaya it's not far-fetched at all for me to know that.
Mark, please.
Sa akin din, Richard, more than the cost din ng film, which is of course, mahal nga gumawa ng pelikula, yung consequence ng paggawa ng movie against the Sotos eh. You're in showbiz, so merong good chance that you could get blacklisted, you could get canceled sa showbiz industry if you go up against a big name sa showbiz katulad ng Sotos. So if gagawin mo yan, 'di ba? Dapat siguro well compensated ka kung for you to push through with that, kasi hindi mo sure in the future kung ano pa yung mapupuntang project sa'yo. Imagine the clout the Sotos have over showbiz, over the networks, over sa mga bosses.
Yung isa MPRCB, diba? Yung isa pwede maging Senate President ulit soon. Diba? I mean, these are, we're just realistic here.
I'll just add
Yeah.
na the lawyer of Daryl Yap is Fortune, and that guy's not cheap. So for
Well,
Fortune to take
unless
on the
there is wala akong sinasabi, unless there's very good impact PR, free PR, because I'm
Oo, di ba?
sure yung
Pwede.
mommy ni Kaloy ay like na, okay.
Right. Oo.
Okay. Ako naman immediately with Fortune being there, ang sense ko dun, he sees a strong legal argument for his side of the equation. Yeah, for me kasi talagang it's just napaka-tragic I mean, this is a cold case, right? This is really a tragic case na ito, si Darrell Yap yung naging vessel, right? But having said that, ako nga parati kong sinasabi, I hope to hear more from the side of Pepsi Paloma's family. I think we haven't heard enough from her mom, from her brother, etc. And at the same time, and I hope hindi sila magpagamit sa mga, if there are indeed conspiracies here and all of that. And at the same time, of course, we want to hear more galing sa mga kababaihan, no? Yung mga experiences. Kasi alam natin, if indeed this were a case of rape and abuse of power against women, etc. Unfortunately, this is not something completely alien, right, to show business all around the world. Kaya may Me Too movement abroad. Kagabi I was listening to this long read about Neil Gaiman, yung great cartoonist. Na ang dami pala allegedly na grabe din yung sexual 'di ba, abuse cases, assault cases allegedly daw. So I think I want to hear more about the female perspective but unfortunately kasi dahil malaking figures ang involved dito, the Sotos, dahil malapit ng elections, dahil Daryl Yap is not necessarily the most politically neutral person out there. I think medyo natatabunan itong issue na yan. Mark, you wanna add something? And then I'll go back to Kristen before we transition to the next topic.
Hindi, yung ang maganda, excited ako dun sa laban ng mga abogado eh. Yung Divina Law laban dito kala Fortune. Kasi nakita ko yung kalibre nung nila attorney Buko nung sa laban sa Halos how they strategize the whole thing, kung paano nila napanalo yung case and all. Nung umpisa, I didn't know kung anong ginagawa nila, tapos it all made sense sa dulo. So, I'm excited to see kung ano yung mga legal maneuvers nila at paano naman to ika-counter. Nung magaling din naman na abogado nung kay Daryl Yap. So, doon ako na-excite.
Yeah, clash of legal titans done. Although I would put still Fortune individually at a different level, but Divina Law is of course known as one of the top legal law firms. We had a couple of people from that firm also on our show before. Chris Tan, good morning. Ano po yung final statements na before we transition to even a bigger clash of personalities in Philippines?
Yeah, honestly, just from what I've heard on the preliminary level, yung mga interviews with Fortune, with Daryl Yap and Vic Soto, and their lawyers as well, alam mo, parang sa akin ang dating, I think Vic Soto definitely has the upper hand on this one. He has a very strong case. And even when you hear Fortune's pronouncements, it's very hard to deny na parang parang may nagawang kasalanan talaga si Daryl Yap. At yung mga from the TROs to changing the trailer to not changing it now and all of that. I think that it's going to be interesting how it's going to turn out, and this is going to be a test of the law. And because there are two, very influential people here, and even their backers, I'm sure, very influential.
Legal
I
team.
think malalaman talaga natin kung may ipin ba ang batas at kung patas ba ang batas. Dito natin makikita yan talaga.
Well, I mean, we'll talk more about rule of law soon as we discuss Marcos and Duterte. Sa akin lang naman, it's a double tragedy if ever the tragic story of Pepsi Paloma will be a victim of sensationalization and political conspiracy and all of that. For me, parang double tragedy yan, if God forbid, yun yung final outcome. So, let's see how this chapter will move on. I'm sure pwede natin balikan yan. And I'm sure, di ba, Mark, this will not be the last controversial thing by someone like Daryl Yap. I think someone like Daryl Yap, until his last breath, will keep on trying to provoke. May mga tao talaga ganyan personality, Jean provocateurs, di ba? Now, I want to
That's what
transition.
he's good at eh. Doon siya magaling eh. And he makes good money doon by gaining attention and gaining So, yun.
Yeah, natural siya. I mean, influencer director siya, no? You can see that the generational change, di ba? Yung usually mga dating directors, medyo auteur, di ba? Medyo above the fray. But I think with Daryl Yap, we see a new generation of medyo influencer
May shock factor para.
Yeah. Yeah. At ang lakas din ng social media impact. Tapos pinapatol pa tayo, naaway-away pa tayo. Kinoment pa yung, nakaka-comment ka sa chest hair ko, nagaganyan na ako ngayon, di ba? Anyway, moving on. Again, as I said, I just want to hear more from Pepsi Paloma's perspective, from a women perspective, and I just hope this doesn't become a double tragedy of sensationalizing a cold case, a very tragic case. Now, we want to transition, of course, speaking of rule of law, I think Kristan perfectly mentioned that. Now, last year started with Digong calling the president a cocaine addict, calling for the military to essentially do a coup d'etat, calling for Mindanao to separate, and that same year ended with the daughter not making once but multiple threats against multiple members of the ruling coalition, not only the president, the first lady, also the speaker of the house, whatnot, right? So now we are January 2025. Kristan, what is your read? Nasaan ba tayo when it comes to this Marcos versus Duterte fight, and what is your sense of how things are going to move in the coming days and weeks?
Well, I think 2024 was definitely Marcos way ahead in terms of the pendulum where it's going. It was swinging in his favor. And kahit tignan mo naman yung mga surveys, nakikita mo naman dito that a lot more people are trusting him and a lot more people are favoring him and think he's doing a good job. And Duterte was losing a lot of support. But having said that, pagpasok ng 2025, ayan na dahil sa pag-approve ng budget ng New Year, and all the anomalies on it, and then everyone else jumping on that and literally chomping at the bits of every problem they can find with a national budget. And honestly, I don't disagree with them. I think there were a lot of problems with that budget, and that was, I think, Marcos's misstep. Na nagkamali siya talaga doon, na miscalculate niya kung ano yung impact doon, and man, people took advantage of it, and now that pendulum is swinging back, and even INC has now thrown their support at VP Sara. Undoubtedly, I mean, you cannot deny that it was definitely VP Sara they're supporting, but they were trying to tiptoe around the issue by saying they're supporting Marcos, di ba? Yun na nga yun eh. Pero with Marcoleta on the stage, and then when the spokesman, I mean, specifically said, we don't want the impeachment to happen with the stupid logic that they came up with. Sorry, that's even an insult to logic to call it logic. It was completely illogical. Pero as I've said nga in my video in the past, na ang problema sa ating mga Pilipino kasi, pag may marinig tayo na hindi natin naintindihan, ina-assume lang natin na tama na yon, tinatanggap na natin. Versus actually questioning, bakit parang hindi nagme-make sense ang sinasabi ng mga taong to? Then you'll understand what a logical fallacy is. So, because of that, the way people spin messages, now, Sara is gaining a little bit of momentum. Baka tumakbo na daw siyang presidente. So, but remember, it's just the start of the year. And then Enrile comes around. Now, the great thing is, Enrile gave his 2 cents. And wow.
Mang Johnny to the rescue.
And honestly, I'm not a fan of Enrile. Man, I not at all. But when I read what he said, I said,
he makes sense.
I have to agree with him. It made sense. It was perfectly worded, succinctly worded, and precise. It was sharp, and you would understand what he was trying to say. And from there, what surprised me was BBM picked it up. Doon ako nagulat. And then they said, I agree with my legal counsel. I'm like, wow. So now, I think BBM, I don't think he's really against that impeachment. I think it's a time. I really believe that when he said it's a timing issue. So just because May 2025 is coming along, and honestly, as Mark knows, when it's campaign period right now, sobrang busy just campaigning. Look at all the congressmen right now. They're so busy campaigning. There are not a lot of work's getting done. Not a lot of hearings are going to be done. And even a lot of the work behind those hearings are not going to be done.
Yeah, just to be clear, thank you for that. Before I go to Mark, so just to be clear, essentially what and Mang Johnny was saying, na no matter how big your rally is, that doesn't mean you can impose the constitutional order or prevent the rule of law from being exercised. Of course, it's very ironic coming from JPE, looking
Yeah.
at more than half a century in public service, but it's a sound argument. My thing though with Marcos is that Marcos like did triple speak, right? So I mean, I agree with Enrile, the finest mind. I understand that the Congress also has to do impeachment, but this is not the right time. Because like, na naman tayo. Tapos sa likod pa niya si Martin Romualdez na gumaganon-ganon si Martin Romualdez. I think the number two. So, here we are again, like BBM trying to balance and to make sure that he covers all the bases. I want to get Mark's point of view and then go back to you again, Christian. Ikaw, Mark, anong basa mo dito from INC to Enrile and then BBM again coming in and doing what he does best, which is muddy the water. No, just kidding. Balance. Na naman tayo.
Buti
BBM.
pinaalala mo, Richard. Ikaw ba, Chris, nakasulat ka na ba? Di pa ako nakakasulat sa Central eh. Kailangan ko palang sumulat, Richard. Kailangan ko palang sumulat. Susulat pa ako. Tapos, iniisip ko pa kung anong pwede kong gawin o para makasama doon sa i-endorso. Pero anyway, pag-usapan natin.
Ayan tayo.
Okay, so yung rally ng INC, ang nagsalita si Marcoleta, parang rally niya no? Parang rally lang for Marcoleta yung nangyari doon. Pero at the same time,
niya, no?
INC is still parang stating its support for the presidency of BBM. So, siguro against din sila for any destabilization laban kay BBM. Para sa akin, kumbaga, yung ginagawa ni BBM is balancing it all eh. You have to play, para sa akin, you still have 3.5 years to win back the INC. Kasi baka yun yung naging problema eh. Yung unang mga taon ng kanyang presidency, baka may mga bagay na hindi na pagkasunduan or may mga bagay na whatever reason is that. Kung whatever ano ba yung mga tawag doon sa parang kung anong pwede mong accommodation that you could give to a big organization like that. Baka hindi sila maayos or kung ano man.
Concession ng
concession, whatever. That's the reality of politics, di ba? You still have 3.5 years para ayusin yan. Baka naman kailangan mo lang ligawan or suyuin. So, BBM is playing safe. Hindi ko din naman ma-imagine nga that the president is going all out na i-impeach nyo na si Sara, yan na yan. So, tignan na lang natin kung ano yung mangyayari sa ground or sa Congress mismo. Pero definitely, kung sa public perception tsaka sa momentum, talagang na-slow down yung momentum ng impeachment nung rally na yan nung INC. Which is kumbaga kung isipin mo medyo dangerous din for them as a group. Kasi syempre,
din yan. Yeah.
Oo nakikialam ka na eh. It's one thing na you choose a candidate, nakarapatan nyo naman pumili, black voting kayo, kung gusto ninyo. But it's another thing na nakikialam ka na exactly dun sa takbo nung So, ayan, yung sulat, siguro gawin ko na next week, kailan papadala ko sa Central.
Wala akong kinalaman sa dalawang kandidato dito bilang the only candidate in this conversation. But okay, Chris, I want to come back to you because we had this discussion last year and of course, naintindihan natin, BBM would want to distance himself. First of all, because of the principle of separation of powers. Dapat walang kinalaman yung presidente. Of course, we know it's the reality, but whatever. Of course, second, I think, if you're BBM also as the president, you don't want bad headlines for the country. The economy is slowing down. Investors may not take things kindly if they see na parang potential gulo. I understand also that sense of responsibility. Yun yung mahirap eh. Kung presidente ka kasi may responsibility ka eh. Unlike, the right? Spare tires. So may asymmetry dyan in the sense that BBM has more reason to be cautious than the other side. So I'm trying to be fair to BBM and of course also the projection of independence and I don't want to be part of it. But going back to this issue, I think people who know a thing or two about the actual discussions behind the scenes, hindi ko sasabihin na Ronald Llamas yung pangalan or Trillanes, but going back to so essentially ang pagkaintindi ko ngayon is ang debate dito is tactics and sequencing. So one school of thought is, ngayon yung trial, pwede mo isabay, and this is based on previous impeachment trials in the Senate. The idea is that you do the trial now with the current composition, pero hintayin mo yung next Congress bago magkaroon ng boto, especially if you're the admin side who thinks you'll do much better in these elections than the Duterte side. I think so far, Bongo is the only one from Team DDS na malaking chance na makapasok ulit. Lahat alanganin. Even yung mga hindi DDS all the way, even if yung isa pangalan Marcos, medyo malanganin din sa top 12. And then there's the other school of thought which is saying, actually, baka after elections, kanya-kanyang diskarte na yan, 2028 na, wala ka na hawak sa mga kandidatos. Ang gagawin mo, isingit mo yung voting dun sa few weeks na meron ka before a new Congress comes in, but tapos na yung election. So yung mga takot na mawala ng Mindanao vote, pero pro-admin, pwede na sila bumoto kasi tapos na elections, whether talo or panalo. Do you get what I'm saying? So actually, very tactical na yung discussion ngayon. Hindi siya strategic eh. Kumaga, wala na eh. I think too many lines have been crossed. Nevertheless, I don't know if you guys have heard about it. There's another school of thought that is saying that may mga nandyan sa admin or ruling coalition na nagsabi, mukhang malabo na ito. It's hard to really bring down Duterte's. The strategy should be containment. Sampahan mo na maraming kaso over and over. Just keep them weak and weaker since Sara's number, baksak na baksak. Her net
Yeah.
approval is just over 20%. And sa Okta, she's only 48 with a disapproval of 28 versus BBM at 65% with a net approval of barely 10%. So BBM actually in Okta is more than 20 points ahead of Sara in net approval rating, much closer in Pulse Asian problems established. But in short, I agree na mutual destruction siya pero mas alanganin ng mga Dutertes. So there's a school of thought saying containment na lang tayo. We don't need to go for the nuclear option kasi masyadong komplikado, maraming pwedeng mga loopholes. Ikaw, what is your read of this tactical, situational debates, etc.? And do you see any risk down the road na baka mag-backfire ito and you might give the Dutertes too much room for comeback? Because you should never underestimate populists, right? They can always
Yeah.
come back. I and Mark have been saying it. Trump came back stronger than ever.
Yeah, and actually, if you think about it, the Duterte still have a lot of power. So, we've always said it naman eh. I've never changed my position on this. Na pag ang mga Duterte, hindi mo talaga todohin. Itodo na. Ubusin mo na kung ubusin mo. Pag binalikan ka talaga nila, my God, alam mo naman sobrang vindictive ng mga yan. Nakita mo yan sa tatay niya. Nakita mo nga si Sarah, what she is willing to do and her siblings. And they're already talking about what they're going to do in 2028 pag nanalo si Sara. Kaya yun yung nakakatakot dito. And the thing is, right, you cannot take those threats lightly. And honestly, tama naman si Enrile, not just about the impeachment, but if Marcos does not do anything with regards to filing charges against Sara and the dad for the statements they made, the plans they made when it comes to not just the
Yung
death
rule of law na
threats.
sinasabi mo,
Oh,
brother.
yeah, absolutely. And those two, I mean, they both have disbarment cases nga, and I'd be surprised if they don't get disbarred because everything they did is above and against the law. They should be disbarred immediately. So dito natin malalaman talaga kung, yun na nga, like I've said, kung may ipin ng batas, number one. Number two, kung may lakas loob si Marcos talaga. Kasi nga, even if he was going to be a diplomat about it, they're not diplomats. You could be all smiling. They won't be the same to you when the time comes. Pag binaliktad mo na, kung sila ang in power, they're not gonna be as diplomatic as you are right now. Ibang-iba ang trato sa
They
niyan and
don't
sa
play by the
pamilya
same
mo.
rules. They don't play by the same rules. I think all of us should have understood it by now. Absolutely. Very good point, Christian. Ikaw, Mark, anong basa mo dyan? Do you think there's a risk here of underestimating Duterte's? Do you think there's a risk here na if you don't go all in, pwede mag-blow back to ng big time later on?
Kasi yung nakikita natin kay PBBM na parang minsan is being soft or
Like avoid
minsan
that.
yun para ipakita lang sa public or para hindi magkaroon ng bad image yung bansa. Pero I think sa likod they are all in eh. And it's a matter kung anong strategy yung gagawin nila. Pero I believe na itong 2025 is the year to do it. Kapag lumagpas ka pa ng taon na ito, kapag if you don't end the Duterte this year, ang hirap na next year eh.
Tapos ka na
May
sa kabila eh.
magkaka-momentum na going to 2028 eh. We will only be 2 years away from the next presidential election. So this year is the year to do it. I think they will go all in. Kung paano yung itsura ng all in na yun, syempre, yung nga sinabi mo nga, may iba't ibang strategy, pwedeng after the elections, as after the Pero if they don't do it this year, then their final hope is yung makakatalo kay Sara sa 2028. Yun na lang yung matitira sa kanila. That's
right.
Their final.
We'll talk about Tulfos and we'll talk about also the genuine opposition, Pink, later on. But before we wrap up this part of the discussion, ako kasi, bro, I mean, in fairness, we are like-minded, but of course we're across the political spectrum. in terms of people who want a better Philippines, but probably we have slightly different takes on this issue. But I think on this issue, medyo similar ang take natin. Kasi, Chris, no, so as I was telling Mark, I was telling you, by the way, of course, nakasama ko si Chelo Magno, so it's good to talk to those people kasi Chelo Magno has been taking up the cudgels for really exposing itong mga anomalya or alleged anomalies dito sa budget well, I won't say budget ng administration per se kasi pinasa rin ito ng legislatura. Let's just call it the 2025 budget, among other things. Ako parati ko sinasabi, go all in criticizing if talaga sa tingin mo may kababalakan, yeah, may maharlika from whatever, but just make sure hindi ka i-hijack nung kabila, which is what Duterte is doing. Because, Chris, you should know this better than all of us. If there's one guy who did best online doing a legit breakdown of Quadcom hearing, it's you, right? No offense to the rest of us. But now, like, no one cares about Quadcom anymore. At least it's nowhere
Yes.
close, right? So that means na-hijack na in a sense that the Dutertes are using all of their machinery, troll farms, whatever you want to call it, to sakyan. Nakita ko yung mga ibang DDS nga, sinasabi nila parang team ano kami, yung mga hindi ko na, parang hey Darian, wala, ano ka, yung mga alam mo na, I don't have to drop names. But my also argument is, in fairness naman, the other side of this coin is baka naman ang may risk din dito is nagpapagamit ang left or mga progressives na nagsampa ng impeachment kasi look at all the three impeachment file, Akbayan,
Yep.
Makabayan. So the other side of this argument, I'm just trying to be fair, is that ingat din yung mga iba na focus kay Duterte. Baka at the end of the day, they'll just end up doing the dirty job, but the job doesn't get done, and then they end up with empty bag, right? So
Mm.
there's risk either way. Again, I'm trying to be fair to the all sides of the argument here, right? Pero ako,
Well,
at the end of the day, my argument is simple. I focus on the greater evil, unahin mo muna yan and then go to the next one if you think there's still problem. Ganon kasimple lang yan. And that should not prevent the opposition from building also its own momentum for 2028, right? It's not like kung Dutertes are taken down, automatically maging tuta ng administration ng opposition. I just don't buy that argument. And then, pwede mamaya, one-on-one na lang sila for 2028. Basta ang point ko is, pwede mo i-sequence yan, pwede mo i-prioritize one by one. Kasi there's no way the genuine opposition, which is relatively weak at this point, to take on both of them. And I think it would be, di ba yung meme na yung guy na nagsisigarilyo habang nagsusuntukan ng mga tao sa stadium? It's not the responsible way forward. You tell me, guys. I mean, I think we are kind of like-minded on this point, right?
Yeah. Actually, I'd like to know, Richard, when you said that, you're referring to Shello?
No, but people are like-minded. But it could also, no, actually, sometimes yung mga DDS, they even mention her among other people to
Yeah.
use against me. They say, oh, Richard, see, pati nga yung mga ganyan, 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 ganyan. Tapos sabi ko, no, tama yung argument nila, but don't hijack it, diba? But again, Chela is doing her own part. I think you need what she's doing. Ang point ko lang is don't lose sight of the big picture.
Yeah.
But the risk goes both ways. Of course, I agree with that. So, tama rin yung concerns nila Chelo rin. So, of course, some of her concerns was raised off the record, so I cannot share. But I think she has many legitimate concerns. And kaya nga, I'm trying to be fair. I'm looking, but at the end of the day, for me, focus on the greater evil, sequence
Mm.
mo yan while building the opposition, which is something I want to ask you both about. Ikaw, Chris, aside from putting me in trouble, nagpaganda ka ng diplomacy ko this week, sinisira mo na naman.
Alam mo, Richard, for me kasi, I actually agree with you on this, and I think we're a little bit more center than most people think. And yung nakikita ko dito kasi with what Shello's doing is, man, she's just shooting, man, blazing guns everywhere. Kahit sino tamaan, let's go, di ba? And there's nothing wrong with that. And you do you, we do me. Ganun lang naman yun sa akin. And
Exactly. Yeah.
she has every right to say and do whatever she wants. Nothing wrong with that. It's our job to counter it. Kasi it's our job to exactly, to be the balance. To say, okay, yes, tama yan. Pero if you lose sight of this is going to be a problem. It'll bite you in the ass worse. This is going to become a worse problem by you focusing on this versus you focusing on this. You can talk about both, but don't lose sight of the bigger problem. Kumbaga, meron kang dalawang cancer. Yung isa localized pa, kaya mo pang ayusin to. Yung isa kumakalat na, ito kailangan mong patayin ngayon kasi kung hindi, ito yung papatay sa atin lahat. So what Shell is doing, unfortunately, is focusing on the smaller problem than dealing with the bigger problem,
Just to
which
be
is
clear, when we say smaller, it's not because we're saying corruption is not bad. We're saying if there's one
Yeah.
thing worse than corruption, is mass EJK, killing tens of thousands of people, right?
I'll even go
Worse
for
than that is treason potentially and gentleman's agreement with China. So I just want to spell it out. Now, when we say
yes.
greater evil, may basihan tayo. Hindi lang itong usapan ng sino mas corrupt. EJK ang
Yeah.
pinag-usapan, gentleman's agreement pinag-usapan.
Yeah, let's put it this way, no? Tama yung sinabi mo, Richard, ano? And isipin mo na lang to, okay. Everyone's corrupt in politics. Baseline mo yan ng politician eh. O yan na. O, pareho yan eh. Ang pinagkaiba, yung isa kahit papano, may demokrasya tayo nakikita. Kahit papano, nakakapagsalita tayo. There's no fear in speaking out. Kahit papano, this one, may mga palpak, nakikinig pa rin. Notice how many times he would listen and, feel the room, read the room, and say, okay, I'll do this. Oh, the other one doesn't give a shit about all of that and has shown tendencies to go above and beyond the law. Actually, pag tinignan mo nga lahat ng moves ng mga Duterte, it is always above the law. They have never played within the same rules as we're playing ever in anything. So, yan ang mas dangerous. Somebody who has absolutely no respect for the law, no fear of the law, and you want to put that person back in power? Ay, good luck. So, you're not just talking about corruption anymore. You're talking about the absolute usurpation of the entire country, democracy, money, lahat yan, everything na. Your rights, basic rights, all gone. This may even be worse than what we've experienced in our lifetime.
I mean, just to be clear, if hindi vice president yung mga Dutertes, hindi sila in line of succession, maybe my argument would have been slightly different. The
Yeah.
point is that if BBM goes down for whatever reason, naturally, constitution, whatever,
Yes.
it will automatically take over. Do not forget that hard fact. Ikaw, Mark, what is, do you think we are being too emotional or whatever? Do you think we're nagpapanik kami? Kasi ako, I experienced horrible things during the Duterte administration. I don't know about the other people. I don't know nasan sila all those Duterte years. But ako, I saw how hard it was to speak out
Yeah.
against anything. Grabe, death threats, bababuin ka, bastusin ka, you don't know if you're gonna stay alive. I mean, back in the day, I was semi-exiled during Duterte time. Practically every month I was abroad. There were times 2, 3 months I'm abroad, of course, doing academic work or writing books. But actually, I was concerned for my life. I'm not saying things are perfect right now, but it's different degrees. Degrees
Different.
different degrees, di ba, Mark?
Yeah. Yung ginagawa ni Miss Shelo Magno, ano yan fiscalizing I think in every democracy, importante yan. Whether tama o mali yung mga argument niya. Ako, I'm happy na merong mga tao na openly criticizing or fiscalizing or kasi hindi naman perfecto yung budget, syempre. Whether kung gaano ka kurakot or gaano ka ano. Syempre merong mga mali dyan at merong mga ibang mga politicians na susubok magpasok nung mga gusto nilang ipasok diyan. So hindi mo maaalis yung mga meron talaga magsusubok na ipasok yung ganito, ilakihan yung ganon. So tama lang na merong fiscalizers like Shelo Magno. Pero tama yung sinabi mo Kasi tignan mo si Shelo ngayon, imagine if Shelo did that nung
This
panahon ni
during the
Duterte.
pandemic of Digong, baka ma-cyber life, yeah, I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the perfect way of putting it. If you dare to do the same thing you're doing now to BBM during Digong, tingnan natin ang mangyari sa'yo. That would be
Yun
an
nga.
idea. And not to
Yun ang
mention, Sara
difference
could be worse
siguro.
than Digong. Di ba? I don't know. I think Sara will be even more pikon than Digong. Because Digong at least had humor. At,
Oh.
ito, mas galit ang mga Duterte ngayon
And ano nga sa yung mga BBM na vloggers, yung mga admin na vloggers, wala ako masyado nakikita na na inaatake or kinikriticize si Shelo So, medyo busy rin siguro sila nakikipag-away sa mga DDS. Pero ang layo ang layo nung panahon dati. So, yun, at least on that end.
I think, Kristen, even also in your interview, right, with Leila de Lima, right? Speaking of fiscalizer, she was the fiscalizer along with Trillanes, Senator Trillanes during Duterte's time. I mean, she said it. At least now, meron tayong democratic space, right?
Yeah.
It's not a full-fledged democracy. We're not Scandinavia. We're not Denmark. But my goodness, it's different levels yan, di ba? Levels yan, as Joe Rogan would put it, there are levels to the game. This is a completely different ball game.
And not just that, remember that, right now, nakikita mo nga, Congress is working, Senate is working, the judicial system is working. All three branches of the government are functioning. And at least from the offset, mukhang wala namang undue influence na nangyayari. Kasi remember, you see the differences between how Senate acts, how Senate decides to how Congress decides. So the fact that you're seeing this contrast between the two in their positions, nakikita mo that Malacanang seems to not be trying to influence things too much because they could if they would. Much like the previous administration, total control of Senate, total control of Congress, total control of the judiciary. Yun ang nakakatakot. On top of the fact that total destruction of the media, the fourth estate. So, lahat yan ipagsama mo sa ginawa nila versus ang ginawa ngayon ni Marcos is allowing things to just move on its own. That's the big difference. Kaya nga talagang and not just that, by the way, I have to add, na-realize ko no, na yung mga vloggers ni Marcos, mga kung may troll farm siya, I'm not even sure if he really has a troll farm. Compared to the Duterte troll farm, the Duterte troll farm, like, they look at you, me, Mark, I'm not sure, ikaw baka you're maybe on the good side pa, pero me and Richard, probably minumura kami araw-araw ng mga yun. There's no parang middle ground to try to
As
talk.
we speak, dami mga pambabas. Kasi nasa TikTok rin tayo ngayon.
Ah, nakikita
As we
mo?
speak, binabastos ako ngayon. Like, as we speak.
You're seeing the comments?
Yeah, yeah. I didn't,
Okay,
I never got that experience from criticizing Marcos's, for
exactly. And not just that, I want to add that I've been pro Marcos vloggers have reached out to me and said, Chris, can we do a collab? And they were willing to listen. That was the interesting thing. And they know that I'm not pro Marcos, but yet they were willing to have me on their vlog, and I welcome that. I'm planning to schedule one soon with one of them, and that's what I saw the difference. Na even if we don't agree on our political views, we can still have a discussion. Versus the Dutertes, they're vloggers. Oh my God, there is no sense. Sorry, kung sinusuportahan niyo si Duterte, kayo mga nakikinig ngayon, matuto tayo makipag-usap. Walang, when you're insulting me kasi wala naman tayong napapala dito sa usapan na to. Ang nangyayari lang dito, parang kang asong ulol na tumatahol. And pag ako tinataholan ng aso, hindi naman ako Ikaw ba, Richard, kung tumahol ang aso sa'yo, tatahol ka pa balik? Mark, di ba? Pag may aso tumahol, anong gagawin mo? Tatahol ka? Hayaan mo lang yan. Asong ulol eh. Tumatahol eh, di ba? So
bazooka
yun
ko.
lang sa akin. You want
Bazooka.
to, you wanna debate? Let's debate. You wanna discuss? Let's discuss. You wanna bark at me? You're not gonna get a reaction.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've been critical of this administration, Maharlika Fund, on a lot of other issues. Pero napansin ko, pagdating sa West Philippine Sea, 'di ba, open sila sa ideas. So parang they separate my criticism from my
Yan.
constructive comments. May ganun democratic openness, if I can put it that way, na wala dun sa kabila. As simple as
Yep.
that. Parang you criticize them on one thing, you're the enemy, period. Wala akong
Yes.
sabihin. That's a big difference. Eh. In fact, yung kaibigan natin na historiador, si Leloy Claudio, his argument is, I mean, Leloy is a proud pink dilaw, right? Ang point niya is, actually, BBM is a standard EDSA president. Yeah, may mga anomalya, may mga ganyan.
Oh.
But at the end of the day, he operates within the framework. So ironically, Marcos Jr. is an EDSA president still. Now, we'll have a different discussion once there's a Chacha discussion again. But as of now, the one who are a threat to a constitutional order are the Dutertes. Okay, before we make more, ruffle more feathers na inayos ko nga nung past few days. Tinira ni... Tapos, Chris, ikaw na naman ang imbitahin nila sa mga parties nila, not me. But it's okay, like I care. But joking aside, no, it's a joke because, whatever. Mark, I want to ask you right now, where do you see, kasi nasa Bicol ako, di ba, past few days, and we were talking about visiting Bicol, etc. What is your read of the situation on the ground for the pink movement, for the genuine opposition? Kasi Mark, you're very neutral compared to me and Kristen. Now, kami ni Kristen talagang pinuntahan namin yung mga rallies ng pink, among other things. So you are much more to the center than, I mean, center na kami ni Kristen, but you're even more centered than us. What is your read objectively of Lenny, of opposition? How are they doing? Kasi I called Lenny the comeback queen of 2024. I think from obscurity, temporary obscurity, she came back, and then Mark Oleta, Robin Hood Padilla, kung lang na lang si Bato, they'll all go and shake her hands and pay respects to her. And Riza Ontiveros did fantastic last year. I mean, we are all big fans of what she has done last year. I think, ikaw, Kristan, ang laki ng views mo dun sa mga coverage mo sa mga hearings ni, ano, no, ni Riza Ontiveros. So, we have these champions that I think are giving a semblance of hope. But at the same time, of course, Mark, let's be realistic. Pagdating sa resources, political capital,
Mhm.
popularity, malayo pa rin ang Dutertes and Marcoses so far. So, what is your read, Mark, so far?
Paano for the pink movement, kung how are they
Yeah, I
doing
mean,
now?
anong kalagayan if you're gonna do parang diagnostics at saka prognostications for 2025? Kiko seems to have a good chance, right? Bam is not too far
Yung
away.
BAM din, ang ganda din nung
Yeah, ganda ng
Ang ganda
momentum.
din nung
Di ba?
ginagawa
No,
ni Lenny, in fairness to her. 'Di ba lumabas sa news, she will go around and campaign for BAM, campaign for Kiko. Leila is very visible. Kitang-kita lahat si Chel, nandun ngayon I think sa Cebu, sa Sinulog, nandun sila lahat. Um, Trillanes also very visible going against the Dutertes, running in Caloocan. I think kailangan lang magdagdag eh. Kailangan lang lumawak yung reach nung Pink. Uh, Oo eh. And yung mga yung pinakamalapit. Syempre hindi mo kasi parang ang nangyayari kailangan para may purity test eh. Kailangan ganito dapat pero kumbaga mas lenient or kumbaga i-expand yung mga pink na talking heads, yung mga pink na mga celebrities, na
Mm.
political celebrities. Maraming pwedeng like for example nga si Heidi Mendoza eh. That's why I was happy na she ran for Senate eh. Kasi you have a new talking head na mas aligned doon sa gusto ng pinks. O tapos yun nga, like I said, I would always give the example of Iloilo, 'di ba? Which is Drilon country. Na ang ganda nung ginagawa nila doon sa Iloilo ngayon, yung mga wires nasa ilalim na, yung mga esplanade bago pa gawin dito sa Manila, ginawa na doon sa Iloilo. So, yung even the son of Mar, Rojas is running for Congress
Right. Magaling, magaling.
sa Rojas.
Matalino.
So, I think
Ay, wait
there's
lang.
a need to expand eh na waging masyadong exclusive, wag maging masyadong may purity
Cancel
test pa.
culture.
Dapat pure na pure, dapat Kumbaga that's how you expand siguro the base and you grow yung alliance, you grow yung and yun makipagkampihan sa and make alliances doon sa ibang progressives and siguro yun for example nga sila Luke and Leody. 'Di ba? I think Luke and Leody, there's an effort on their part na makasama dito sa Pink na grupo na Kiko
Yeah,
Bam.
yeah. Movement. Yeah.
Yeah, yung mga tulad nga like ni Eli San Fernando and na magkasama ni Shelo Magno na nagrarally nung nakaraang linggo, 'di ba? So, to grow sa iba't ibang sectors sa progressive, tapos meron kailangan mo din mag-include ng trapo eh. At least yung matitinong trapo. At least yung
That's an
matitinong
oxymoron.
trapo.
Parang hindi nag-make sense pero
Parang,
okay.
parang ano eh.
Hindi, I mean compare sa mga trapo na
Festival trapo.
grabe talaga. Mas
Hindi,
matinong trapo.
hindi
Ayun.
crocodile, alligator lang. Hindi
Oo.
Just to be
Also yung mga mayors for good governance,
Yeah.
yung mga ganun. So merong mga merong mga you need to expand yung mga kasama sa base nung Pink to form a larger alliance. 'Di ba? Tingnan mo yung mga dati yung kasama siguro. Ewan ko. Yeah.
I agree. Ikaw, Chris, balikan kita. Actually, I got to watch yung mga content mo, political content. Kasi dati purong Bitcoin ka. No, we can talk about that. No, but, and very reasonable. Very, very reasonable yung mga interventions mo. Obviously, I think all of us were really overwhelmed by the moment, right? Grabe yung daming tao, volunteerism, ganun. And then may nawala sa eksena. But I think now you can kind of feel the embers are there or pwedeng painitin pa yung mga charcoal dyan, di ba? What is your feel right now? Do you think that the pink movement can come back stronger or some mutation? And
Yeah.
that 2025 might not be the culmination pero pwede mo i-warm up ito for 2028.
Alam mo, napansin ko, since 2022, since after the elections, there was some sort of for lack of a better word, an awakening of the Filipinos. But how do I say that? The fact that we're having this vlog, the fact that there's people like all the new vloggers that are popping out, there's a lot of new vloggers who have a different voice from the troll army narratives that we were getting, the propaganda, the fake news from earlier years. And
Mga
this,
based sa Beijing, mga ganun yung mga...
yes, exactly. Oh, yung mga tuta ng China dyan, marami dyan eh. So, alam mo, yun na nakita ko
Live
nagbago.
from
So,
Beijing.
and I noticed talaga there is a shift in the mindset of the Filipino. So, yes, there is a general shift now towards being more critically aware and to think better and to not, wag lang mabudol. Even the INC rally that just happened recently, you saw that there was a lot of pushback against it. And that's where I saw the big difference was. So, in terms of that, I think that whether it's the Dilawans or the Pinks, they're kind of like sibling parties, not really, well, there's commonalities, but it's kind of separate. Alam mo, regardless of the color, it's this for me. Speak, speak clearly, speak plainly, speak boldly. Kasi yun ang kulang natin eh. That I'm seeing people love that boldness in character. That's why si Ellie San Fernando, 'di ba? Tama ba? Yun ang name niya, 'di ba?
Medyo, I think medyo more than bold yung ginagawa niya.
It works. It
It works
works.
on
That's what
TikTok.
I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Man, he's young. That guy, that kid's young, and man, like I'm like I'm liking this guy. Matapang siya magsalita, okay yan. And humaharap siya sa mga kaso na binabanat sa kanya dahil ang tapang niya magsalita. I admire that guy, and I want that guy to win. He's running for party list. Am I
Let's have
correct,
him on
Mark?
the next one. Let's do
Yeah,
an
Kamanggagawa, party list.
Mark,
Shout
let's have
out,
next
Ellie.
time, Elite, kasama natin si Ellie, no? Para RCME. Oh, para maganda yung, parang, ano eh,
Kagulo yun,
parang
kagulo yun.
Pogo company, RCME. Yeah, you
Oh,
were, sorry, Chris. But that's a fantastic point. Na may
yeah, so yun yung
generation.
sa akin. Even small vloggers. I was watching a couple of sorry, let me rephrase it. There are some vloggers that are big that we've never heard of, and I watched
Right,
their content.
right.
Wow, I am impressed. And very casual speaking, pero pag nagsalita sila, tumatama yung mga punto na binabanggit nila at ramdam ng mga kababayan natin. And believe me, pag pinanood mo, sometimes you're like, wow, I can see the appeal. Some of them I think are OFWs, some are based here. Pero when they speak, wow. There's this girl I watch, an OFW. Unbelievable, her views. But we've never heard of her. But she has massive views and she does what we do. Turns on a mic, speaks our topics. That's it.
I think some of them I noticed because you can see it on your analytics. Follow us. I've noticed a
Yeah.
couple of these big vloggers na, they don't come with the pedigree and all. I think they watch us and then so kumbaga nagre-research din sila.
Yeah.
So kumbaga tayo mga
Sa
idiot.
TikTok, ang daming
Tayo mga
mga umano.
researchers din.
And
Hinahanap ko yung
honestly,
pangalan ng girl eh. Oo nga, napapanood ko yun eh.
yeah, pero talagang kailangan talaga na dumami pa yan. And mukhang dumadami pa. At may mga nakikilala naman ako mga bata ngayon na one is an influencer that does fashion and beauty. Pero she just created a separate channel now on politics kasi she's very political from Ateneo. At marami siya sinasabi talaga na when I listened to it, I was like, you actually know your stuff. Sabi ko, by all means, keep going at it. Sabi niya, so marami talagang pagbabago and the youth is going to make that change happen. I have a lot of faith in that youth. And eto pa, Justin Mandaluyong alone, because I've been going around Mandaluyong, di ba? I was very impressed to meet some of the new graduates, the fresh graduates that are now working, mga cum laudes, and they come from the underprivileged areas. Talagang yung parents ng isa is kasambahay and then the dad was a driver and yet she's cum laude. Now she's in programming and she's supporting her family and I have so much faith when I hear those stories. Sobrang tuwan-tuwa talaga ako. And nakikita
Nakaka-inspire.
ko may pag-asa pa ang Pilipinas dahil doon. So yes, there will be this is gonna come full circle like it always does.
Yeah, I'm very happy, and I'll tell you what, Mark. Before I go back to you, actually, kudos to you, Mark, for encouraging more and more people to get involved. I remember 3, 4 years ago, parati sinasabi ni Mark, bakit ang konti ng mga pink or progressive or legit, just legit bloggers, right? na yung YouTube ay sobrang dominated ng alam mo na natin. So it's a completely different world since then.
Yep.
And then even better, you have the democratization of this, that there are more and more people from different backgrounds, fashion, or OFW friends and mga getting involved. And there are sports people also getting involved. Ako kasi, plano ko, baliktad eh. Papasok na ako sa fashion and culture.
Mukha nga.
Ako, baliktad yung plano ko eh. Kasi napansin ko ay Mocha Uson, di ba? Yung din yung kay Mocha Uson, nag-crossover siya, di ba? From, let's just call it
Music.
edgy
Yeah.
to politics. So sabi ko, bakit hindi natin gawin yung pabaliktad? So medyo na-delay yung plan ko, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So, no, that's good. We can, this is the beauty of these different platforms. Although, of course, thanks to TikTok Philippines for restoring my account that probably some DDS or China guy suddenly banned. Bigla na ban yung account ko eh. Dahil lang nag-emoji ako ng ganyan, parang so thank you sa TikTok Philippines, pero actually wala akong tiwala sa TikTok. Ang daming dodgy nangyari. But nevertheless, while TikTok is there, I think we have to use it for something good, for something productive. Mark, you were about to manager ka eh. Mark, sino ba yung mga bagong talent mo
Hindi,
dyan?
ito, ewan ko kung ito yung sinasabi ni Chris. I-shout out natin
Garawa pa yan, garawa,
yung mga
garawa.
influencers, yung mga political TikTokers na dapat sinusundan. Itong si Nika CG. Ito ba yung sinasabi mo, Chris?
Ah,
This
ito yung...
one?
As a Nika, I follow her
Maaaring intensyonal ang
Ayan,
kahirapan.
yan yung isa.
Yes,
Yan
girl.
yung isa.
Ang
We're friends on
institutions ay
Instagram.
ang pundasyon sa
But she's really good.
Galing,
Oh.
galing, galing. She
Oh.
summarized even journal articles, something that people like me should have done as academics. So, I'm glad. Actually, matagal niya ginagawa yan. But now, yun din eh. There are a lot of these people who are actually doing this for quite some time. And then finally, they got into
Yep.
the algorithmic exponential. Perfect in timing eh. I mean, I started these elections too. Diba? Ikaw rin, Chris, diba? I was not a vlogger before elections. I was doing the, mainstream stuff, right? So, I love it. Perfect timing. Mark, last point before we transition. Let's talk a little bit about LGU and balikan namin kayong dalawa. So, obviously, Senador Mark Gamboa, kamusta ang campaign? What are your plans? What are the provinces you want to visit? And what are the races you're watching? Kasi the Bicol pa lang, grabe yung mga... Kanina, nagsisismisan kami ni Kristen. Like, oh my God, yung isang mayor natanggal dahil sa murder case daw. Yung isang mayor ay hindi pinapatakbo, na-disqualify. Yung isa na-disqualify, and the Supreme Court came in, and then the COMELEC came against it. And then, ang gulo ng Bicol politics.
Ang
Parang
gulo.
naga lang yung medyo predictable in direction of the wind eh.
Oo. Magulo talaga. Kahit yung sa Caloocan, di ba? Yun yung medyo high profile na na-disqualify na pinapabalik nung Supreme Court o na TRO yung Supreme Court. Di ba? Si Egay Arice. Of course, controversial. Nag-split sila ni Trillanes and all. Pero inaway niya yung COMELEC, inaway niya si George Garcia. O tapos na-disqualify siya. Tinanggal yung pangalan niya dun sa balota. Ngayon napa-TRO niya. So, meron daw 6 million ballots na hindi magamit ngayon. Kailangan i-print uli. So, that's 126 million pesos
Million?
down the drain.
Million ballots? Oh my God, that must be expensive.
Yun, mga 120 million something yung halaga na you have to reprint again because of the ruling nung Supreme Court. So, magulo yung sa Caloocan, doon sa laban niya, si Egay laban doon sa incumbent na si Mitch Kahayon. And kanina nasa so yung sa campaign, kanina I was with the former Senator Sonny Trillanes. Nag-iikot na kami sa Caloocan and ayun, thank you din sa kanila, pinagsasalita nila ako and I'm able to introduce myself. So, yun nga tuloy pa rin ako dun sa aking medyo wild na plano na. Have you heard, Chris, yung plano ko? Nasabi ko na yata before, yung Oplan BBM.
Hindi
na naman
pa, share mo please.
Ano, tokang ba
Bawat
yan?
barangay
Tokang?
maikutan. Okay. So, there are 1,700 barangays in Metro Manila. Ang plano ko in the next 2 months is ikutan lahat.
Wow. Good
Yeah, so for
luck.
Mandaluyong, you have
Pang
40
Guinness record
barangays.
yan, pare.
So iikutin ko siya ng isang araw from morning hanggang Tapos ang ganda, actually kahapon nasa Navotas ako. Naikutan ko all 16 lang pala kahapon. 16 barangays ng Navotas. I was able to meet a lot of new friends, mga chairman, mga kagawad. And kasi walang gumagawa. Pumapasok ako ng mga iskanita, kinakausap ko yung mga tao, I vlog about it. para yung concerns nila. So I'm enjoying that part nung election season. Pero ang important kasi sa akin, lalo na national, at wala akong budget, is yung TV exposure. So, yun ang wino-workout ko kung paano ako mapupunta dyan sa ABS, sa TV5, sa GMA. Meron na tayong invitations from other smaller networks. And yun that's my only chance. That's the only chance. Kasi yung mga social media na magagaling like Willie Ong and Bosita, na merong millions of followers more than me. Diba? Wala pa sila sa Magic 12 So, kailangan talaga yung mainstream So, kailangan din, sila nasa top 15, top 18 sila.
Pero yung Mark, iba pa rin yung mainstream. Sabi ko sa'yo, Mark, iba pa rin yung mainstream. Kasi we have
pa rin
discussion about social media. Social media is a good complementary or to get you into the conversation, but still...
yun nga, like Doc William, parating nasa top 18, top 20. So, yung final push going to the final 12, yun yung yun yung mahirap.
Pero Mark, you were hoping to team up with other, parang hindi naman outsider, pero parang new wave, if I can put it that, new wave candidates, medyo independent.
Yeah, yun. So,
so
we call it bago naman. Yun naman yung sa ngayon, I'm working with the teams of Bosita, tapos separately with Action Demokratiko. So, thank you to them, inadapt naman nila ako. So, makakasama-sama ako sa mga ibang ikot nila. Pero yun nga, parang gusto kong bumuo ng third force ng mga bagong senador na para may option. Meron kang admin slate, meron kang DDS na slate, meron kang third force na pwedeng another option or pwedeng pagpilian ng mga vote. Ang kailangan kasi namin media exposure So ang logic na iniisip ko, kung mas marami kami doon na medyo mataas naman na kandidato, baka mas makakuha kami ng media exposure. Para to get the final push.
Diba, with Honasan.
Doon kay Willie Ong, kay Bosita. So, yun yung iniisip ko.
Yeah, the one you had with Senator Honasan, diba? That was good. That was a good start.
Yun. Senator Honasan is also, nandoon, is nasa mga top 16, top 17. So, may konting push So, yun ang hopefully magawa ko by Feb.
Yung billboard natin, bro.
Kailangan ko na siya i-take down by Feb.
Yung kay Chavez, baka pwede na ipahiram sa'yo kasi nag-back out na si
Oo nga, no? Baka pwedeng pahiram naman, palitan ko na lang yung tarpaulin. At least gagastusin ko na lang yung tarpaulin, bayad na din naman yun. Oo, sayang. Pero, ang good dito, Richard, sa ibang surveys, kunyari, number 36 ako. Nung nag-resign si Chavez, number 35 na ako. So, ganun pala yung dapat na strategy. Kailangan umatras yung mga kalaban ko, pataas ako ng pataas. Yun pala yun.
So, gawin mo yung ginawa ni Cardenas, di ba? Yung Duterte Youth, pinatanggal niya lahat ng nominees para makapasok siya, yung Duterte. Baka
ganun, grabe.
Cardenas strategy ka. Ikaw, Chris, kamusta yung your own campaign, and then are you also watching yung mga nangyari sa mga kapitbahay nyo sa Makati, sa Taguig, di ba? Medyo maraming drama din dyan, di ba?
Well, I'm just really focused on Mandaluyong, and ang interesting talaga lang dito is every city is a microcosm of what's happening all over the country. So yun ang isa nakita ko, and I realized that local politics is going to be a great chance to really implement change in a way na nahihirapan gawin sa national dahil ang laki sobra nung national machinery kaya ang hirap kumilos. Imagine pa lang how many bills in Congress are stuck there that have gone stale or is pretty much dead or in limbo. In Senate, ganun din dahil ang laki sobra at ang dami sobrang tinatakal na mga mas importanteng issues, I guess, or mas sikat na issues. So, on the local level, mas ma-implement mo yung change yan. So, that was one thing that I noticed. Number one. Number two, ang napansin ko talaga, with now that I'm going around, ito yung interesting. When I met some of the barangay captains and kagawads, everyone was saying to me, good luck, ha? Pero, tapos talagang, huwag ka sana ma-discourage, ha? I'm like, bakit? Kasi imposibleng mananalo ka. Ginaganon talaga ako. I'm like, wow. Sabi ko, ganun ba kahirap? Sabi na, iba naman, Chris, I admire you so much. I go, why? Because for somebody who's an independent to try to even run, it takes a lot of courage. And I'm like, Really? I mean,
Hirap, yeah. Local is very hard.
Local
National,
is very
parang
hard. Oh.
prominence lang yun. I mean, of
yeah.
course, hirap din yun, but I'm just saying, ang hirap machinery talaga yung local.
Yeah, so yun ang napapansin ko, lahat ng nakausap kong barangay officials, they won't even endorse me nor support me publicly. They will say to me, Chris, I cannot support you publicly dahil mag-jeopardize ang aking barangay, but I will tell people about you. Ganon. Quietly, I'll quietly say something, but I just can't do it publicly. And I
Ano,
hope you understand. I go,
pag
no, no.
ninja campaign ka, ninja moves, di ba?
Oo, ninja moves talaga to. Oo. So, yun ang gagawin naman natin. And yun, I'm going around tomorrow just to talk to people lang kasi I wanna kind of get a feel of what ano yung mga pangangailangan ng mga Mandaleños. So, yun ang una kong gagawin. And then after nagawa ko
Magkano ka ba
yun,
mga posters ganon?
wala pa akong posters or anything. Papagawa ko ng mga tarps. But I already
Volunteers,
said,
bro. Is there a website? How can people reach out to, let's now talk the logistics. Like, you and Mark, like, how can people help kung may mga volunteers na naniniwala sa ginagawa mo? I mean, because you could be also a symbol of something different, just like what Vico was doing back in the day, di ba?
yeah, the best way to reach me right now is through, if you have X or formerly Twitter, hanapin lang nyo ako at i-message nyo ako at I am Kristan. Yun, i-type nyo yun. Tapos i-message nyo ako and I'll send you guys the Google form link for volunteers. Tapos kung hindi naman doon, pwede naman nyo i-message sa aking Facebook. Search lang nyo Kristan yung Facebook fanpage ko at message din nyo ako doon or kung kaya din sa IG. There are a lot of ways to reach me or maybe on commenting on
But
this.
why not make a Substack or like yung blog lang na kung saan pwede sila diretso mag-reach out sa specialized for a campaign? I mean, that's also very,
Ah,
yeah, something like
o nga
that.
no, I didn't think about that. You
Oh,
know
para
what?
may parang website ka na para mas legit tignan, bro. Kasi I mean, it's just a suggestion from a friend. Libre lang naman mag-Substack. Just
O
make
nga,
it,
I've never thought about it. I
yeah, and
just
then make your Substack your campaign. For now, at least,
okay.
mamaya,
Sige,
use it for some, yeah, why not? Make it,
sige, sige.
free lang yan.
Ala,
Free lang yan, pare, yeah.
Sige pare, I'll ask you later na lang offline if we can if you can just help me. I'll check it out then if I have questions I'll ask you. Pero yeah, you know nga like at the end of the day I'm so happy to see so many people ready to volunteer. I have a team ready now and I'm excited and talagang volunteers. I had a group of bikers who are I'm going to run across Mandaluyong. They said, "Chris, we are going to ride with you." And I'm like, "Wow." There's probably 50 to 100 of them, bikers, all ready to ride around Mandaluyong. I'm like, let's go. So, yun. So, hopefully, let's see. At the end of the day, Richard and Mark, alam mo, ito sinabi ko talaga. Mga nagsabi sa akin, huwag ka ma-disappoint o malungkot pag matalo ka. Sinabi ko sa kanila lahat, bakit naman ako malulungkot kung natalo ko? Itong pinapasukan ko ay isang sakripisyo para sa akin. Hindi ko ito po ginagawa para sa aking ego or para pakinabangan ko o para pagkakitaan ko. So, hindi po loss sa akin yan pag natalo ko. Ang ginagawa ko lang dito ay pinapakilala ko sarili ko. Ang trabaho ko lang is ipakilala sarili ko at ano yung pwede kong ibigay sa ating lungsod. Ngayon, sila magdedesisyon. Kung hindi ako binoto, no skin loss of my back because I love being a private citizen. I am very happy just doing these vlogs, sharing my thoughts, not having to worry about my security, not having to, to spend a lot of time, doing a lot of
Schmoozing.
political work.
Schmoozing.
But I'm willing to do it. That's the point I'm trying to make. I am willing to do it. If the people want me to do it, I will give them 100% if they want me to do it. Pero kung ayaw nila, total respect. And I wish everyone the best of luck. And I go back to private life.
Well, I mean, for me, mahalaga yan because you could be a test case, di ba? Of other also well-meaning people doing it without schmoozing, without trapones, without all of the unfortunate things that makes politics so unattractive. I mean, di ba, sabi na one of the tragedies of politics in democracy is that the good people find it too dirty to engage. So if good people like you, Kristan, good people like you, Mark, bother to engage it, then baka mas maraming tao na maengganyo sa mga susunod na election. So I hope you guys realize this is not just only about your campaign. is also about a test case to inspire more and more people in 2020, because I'm very optimistic about 2020. Maybe I'm a little bit being over optimistic, but I think ang laki ng chance for 2020 to produce some very fascinating surprises. So 2025, I hope this will be the marker of a new chapter sa ating politika. So that's why, Chris, the stakes are very high. This is not, I mean, what you're doing in Mandaluyong is huge in itself. I'm not trivializing, but I'm saying it's even way more than that. Kasi pwede pag-aralan yan for 2028. And the same with you, Mark, right? You want to tell us also about volume?
Oh,
How can people help you,
that's
brother?
what I always say then, na yung pagtakbo namin ni Chris, we are giving parang courage doon sa mga nag-iisip tumakbo in the future. Kung
Yes.
makita nila na, uy, si Marco tumakbo, nag-enjoy naman siya. Di ba?
Pwede.
Tapos nakakuha siya ng ganito karaming boto. Hindi naman siya gumastos ng 1 billion pesos katulad ng mga ibang dalawang kandidato dyan na wala pang
Na,
10 billion,
na,
1 billion na yung
millennial yung
nagastos.
isa, di ba? Millennial.
Pero he enjoyed, nakakuha siya ng ganito kadaming boto. Pero yun nga,
Yeah.
para mas lumakas yung loob, I always start na maraming mas deserving sa akin na maging senador, pero hindi sila tumatakbo.
Yeah.
Kasi iniisip nila na na 'di ba? Una yung bashing Ang hirap hindi ka man mananalo, sino ka ba? Nagsasayang ka ng oras.
Yep.
Pangalawa yung resources. Kasi iniisip nila you need 500 million, you need 100 million. O tapos pangatlo, pero siguro ang pinagkaiba lang talaga sa akin, I truly enjoy campaigning. Doon talaga ako
Yeah.
nag-enjoy. I enjoyed it the last time nung vlogger ako. Mas nag-enjoy ako ngayon na ako yung kandidato, ako yung kumakamay. Iba yung experience natin, Chris Kasi kung ikaw, yung sa mga barangay, nagigets ko, tatakot sila na magalit sila mayor kapag umalis sila
Yep.
doon sa state ng gusto nila, sweep
Yep.
Pero sa akin, dahil 12 yung senador, at hindi naman sila pinupuntahan ng mga senador, mas open sila sa akin. Ang dami ko nagiging kaibigan ng mga chairman. Parang kahapon lang sa Navotas, I made a lot of great new friends diyan sa may Agora, sa may Bangkulasi, hanggang sa dulo ng Navotas. So tuwang-tuwa ako kahapon. So gagawin ko 'yan sa lahat, sa Mandaluyong, sa Makati. I'll contact you, Chris, pag Mandaluyong
for sure.
day ko na. Pag
Once
iikot ako doon sa mga chairman diyan.
Yeah, once na kasi ako sa totoo lang ang hirap lang talaga trying to juggle all the things that we're all doing at the same time. And I'm gonna be honest, I should be campaigning more than I am right now. Not campaigning, excuse me. Let me clarify. You can't campaign yet. I should be getting myself known more
Yeah.
within the local
Groundwork,
community.
groundwork.
Groundwork lang, magpakilala lang. Bago mag-umpisa ang kampanya, magpakilala. And nahuhuli na daw ako, palagi sinasabi sa akin, huling-huli na daw ako. And I want to reiterate yung mga nabanggit yung dalawa, Richard and Mark, na tama na this does serve as an inspiration for a lot of people. And yun na nga, from day one, I remember when I mentioned to you guys na, sinasabi ko nga sa karamihan ng mga tao, tumakbo kayo for politics. And yun yung umpisang, that was the first impetus for me to run Yung na-realize ko, I tell people to run, and yet I'm not running. So I have to lead by example as well to show people na hindi to ganun kahirap. Do it, and I want to see new faces. And I love the fact that we are seeing a lot of new faces. And you're right, Richard. I think 2028, you're going to see a lot more new faces. And I think that this is going to spark that new type of politician, that new type of leaders that's going to come out from the youth. I see it happening.
On that note, thank you very much. I mean, fantastic way to end it. Ako, for me, it's very important to destigmatize politics. Kasi kung may stigma ang politika,
Yes.
the bad people will keep on winning. So cynicism and stigmatization of politics ang kalaban po natin dito. So kudos to both of you gentlemen and a lot of our good friends who are at least making it possible for people to imagine engaging politics, and who knows, at some point they might jump in. So for me, yun palang panalo na kayo. Yun palang ang laki ng serbisyo nyo. Yeah, so thank you so much on that note, and sana tuloy-tuloy lang itong discussion na to. I look forward to more of that discussion. And of course, we live in the age of disruption, right? Whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's BRICS, whether it's BTS. So I'm already giving you a trailer of my talk in Manila House, rich people, posh people in February. So I'm going to have a talk on February 5 in Manila House. Please check it out. When I'm going to talk about the big picture. Why are the Trumps of this world winning? Why is Bitcoin doing so well? Why is everyone talking about BRICS and what are the new tendencies in social media and politics? Lahat yan pag-usapan natin. So we are in an age of disruption, and I think for some reason we are all disruptors by DNA. So in a sense, walang talo dito, di ba? In a sense, it's only about pushing the boundaries of imagination. Maraming salamat, Chris. Number 10 sa Balota, counselor in Mandaluyong, and of course, kasama po natin, vote wisely. Ay, sorry, Mark Gambo. Mark, you want to remind people also, right? Next to Bongo.
Yung mga gusto mag-contact sa akin,
Yes.
sa Twitter, mahina yung Twitter ko eh. Malamang yung mga audience ni Richard, nasa Twitter madala. At Models of Manila. Yun, pwede nyo mas mababasa ko kaagad doon kasi wala naman masyadong galaw doon eh. At Models of Manila sa TikTok, pwede nyo akong kontakin doon.
Bukas ka rin doon.
Yun po,
Substack. Bukas kayo ng blog nyo, Substack. Yun ang gawin nyo.
Sige, pag-aralan ko din. Hindi ko pa natatry. Number 27 po. Bago si Bongo. Si Bongo 28, 27.
37. Thank you very much, Senator Mark.
27.
27. Yeah, 27. Kasi sabi ko 37. Balang biglang umiba. Kasi maraming umaalis eh. Baka nag-move din yung numbers. Sana pagdating ng May, 20 na lang natira para at least.
Oo, no? Para may laban talaga, no?
Oo, interesting. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Chris. Tuloy-tuloy lang natin yan para sa bayan at of course, good vibes lang. Have a good weekend and talk to you soon, gentlemen. Thank you so much. God bless.
All right. Take care.
Take care.